How we doing? Hot one today, huh? It's going well. It's going well. Just trying to continue to get better every day, stack days, put my best foot forward on tape, and just compete, man. This is the time for us to focus on us and get better. So that's been my focus as well.
A little bit different, just what role you're kind of moving into and trying to take over.
Yeah, definitely the opportunity is there for me at the third spot at linebacker, and for me, I'm excited by that. You know, I've been waiting for an opportunity like this for a while, and it's here. So, like I said, I'm focused on every day, continue to get better, put my best self on tape for the coaches to see and get evaluated, compete. We have a great offense, a lot of different threats, and that causes troubles for a lot of defenses. So, what better time than now to kind of compete against the best?
Guy plays a lot of special teams. What do you think of the new kickoff rule, and how are you guys sort of adapting to it?
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it off of first initial look, but we'll see how things kind of play out. I'm sure the preseason will be a time for coordinators to kind of play with the rules and see what works and what doesn't. But for a guy that, you know, I love covering kicks, I'm not a big fan of a lot of fair catches. You know, that takes a big aspect of our I feel like our strength here as a team away. So, yeah, we'll see how it plays out this year, though.
Winters adapting to practice and play here in the NFL?
Yeah, I think it's coming along nicely. He's a rookie, but I think his intent going into practice is definitely there. He's giving a lot of great effort. He's a student of the game. He's asking us questions, asking the coaches questions as well, and that's what you ask for a rookie, is to come in and have an open mind and want to get better.
How would you describe the way Fred and Dre go about their business in terms of intensity and raising the level of not just your position group, the entire defense?
Yeah, in one word, I'd just say dominance. They come in with the mindset every day that they're going to dominate every rep, compete, be the best, and that makes everybody in the room better. Like coming in last year, I knew that they were great backers and kind of heard of how the defense was run, but you don't understand that until you actually step into the room and you go throughout a practice, throughout a game, and these guys, they compete, man. It's like, if you're not giving your all, then you're going to stand out. So that, like, to me, that raised my game another level as well. It's just knowing that the standard is so high, and you don't want to be left behind.
We get to see, obviously, what they're doing at practice during training camp. What are we not seeing in the meeting rooms and stuff that are they competing there too?
Yeah, just the attention to details, and that goes from the physical aspect, the mental aspect, and then just how they are as people. You know, like the linebacker room is very close. It's probably one of the closer rooms that I've been in my time here in the league, and that shows on the field. Like, we enjoy playing for each other. We enjoy, like, fighting for our brother right next to us. And like I said, that standard is so high that you don't want to let anybody down by you messing up, or because everybody's dependent on each other. So that goes a long ways when you kind of build that kind of culture in a linebacker room that spreads to the defense and even to the team.
How much different do Ty Davis-Price and Jordan Mason look coming at you?
Say it again.
How different do Ty Davis-Price and Jordan Mason look when they're coming at you?
They're both very similar. They both run very hard. Ty is explosive. Jordan, he's a load, man. So two different backs, but very similar in their approach. I feel like they both run extremely hard and, like, are trying to get the extra yardage after contact and all that kind of stuff. But I enjoy competing against the both of them. Ty's locker's right next to mine, so I get to interact with him a lot in the locker room, and he makes things fun, you know. So
Progress from him between last year and this year?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like he came in with the right mindset this year, that he's like, I'm gonna show my stuff, and, like, the stuff that you saw at LSU is kind of showing up on tape here now.
Oren, how do you think Steve's going to use the linebackers this year compared to the way D'Amico did a year ago?
I think very similar. This it was like we were like the number one defense last year, and not that we're banking on that, but I feel like, to us, like, the linebacker core definitely lets the defense go. You know, like, Fred brings a lot of energy, a lot of leadership, and Dre is the same. The physicality, the effort, all that. I feel like we're kind of a nucleus of, like, what the defense, like, kind of feeds off of, and yeah, I think it's going to be very similar. But, like, he's going to bring his touch on what the defense is going to be this year.
It seems like we've already seen a little bit more blitzing. Have you been enjoying that?
Oh yeah, we love blitzing as linebackers, man. Put us in the rush a little bit. So.
But I'm curious from your point of view what you saw from Brock Purdy last year in this camp in terms of his leadership traits or command of an offense as compared to a quarterback that you went against in Green Bay.
Like that. I would say the poise is very similar, especially coming from a young guy. It's very rare to see a guy coming to a situation like he did last year and handle himself as a pro, and ultimately get an opportunity to play. I think he handled that with probably better than I've seen any rookie with that opportunity. But I see a lot of similarities, but they're both each other their own players. So we'll see how his career progresses, but. I've been super proud of how Brock, even just as a person, like he's a great human being, a great person to be around, and people feed off that. Like the poise that he has in the pocket, the way he leads the huddles is different. So,
Thanks, Oren.
cool. Appreciate you guys.
Even close to the heat that is going to be the next 2 days, huh? The next couple days.
Yeah, no, it's definitely the heat definitely turns up a notch when you go to Vegas for sure. But we're gonna practice in the morning, so we'll hopefully beat some of the heat for sure.
Have any of your teammates asked or talked about what it was like out there or the practice facility or anything?
I mean, not really teammates. I think the guys are really more so excited. You know what I mean? I don't think they're really worried about the heat. Definitely a lot of the coaches for sure. I told them bring some chapstick, bring some Vaseline, wipe inside your nose. It gets pretty dry. So, you know, the team probably hasn't really been too much worried about it, but definitely a lot of coaches, a lot of front office guys for sure.
You're going up against some of your old teammates there.
Indeed. You know, and like I said, man, the league is a brotherhood, and obviously I have a lot of really good relationships back there. I'm still really close to home with, you know, a lot of guys on the defense, offense too. So I'm excited. You know, I'm definitely looking forward to the competition. It's going to be fun.
How do you feel that your game has grown just in your time here, working with Coach Kasarek and with this defense? How do you think you've grown as a player?
I think it's still really early, but you know, just initially, man, I think just the aspect of being in a new environment has been really big for me. You know, not in to say that the one I came from was a trouble one, but it was definitely more so just understanding that being in a new group with the D line specifically, I think having Coach Chris has been really big for me. You know, just from the aspect of me taking a lot of the reading out of my game, and more so now I'm out there just reacting. You know what I mean? Kind of like I feel like we just a pack of animals out there, and we really just playing off of instinct, and that's been the biggest thing. You know what I mean? Because when you got guys that's obviously big, strong, athletic, can run, the biggest thing is can you get them not to more so focus on the X's and O's and more so just focus on going out there and winning a matchup. And I think for me that's been the biggest thing.
What's the challenge like going up against Trent Williams every day in practice? And it sure doesn't seem that you are backing off at all.
Nah, definitely. I mean, I would say, you know, that's a guy who, you know, I don't even think he knows this, but that's a guy who I grew up watching. I'm from Richmond, Virginia. You know, he played for the Redskins for a very long time. So even seeing when the Redskins would do training camp in Richmond, he's a guy where, you know, I just see his game, and it's a level of I feel like I got to bring it every day, or just to earn his respect. You know what I mean? Because if I can go out there against him and potentially have success, then you know everything else really will just come. So I feel like me going out there and going my hardest as I can against him is definitely a respect factor, because I really had the utmost respect for a player like that. So it's been good, obviously, right? You know, it can get a little chippy sometimes. Definitely, it can get chippy, but it's been nothing but a blessing.
He's always kind of made himself available to guys on the other side, on his teammates anyway, of like giving pointers and things like that. Has he opened that invitation to you, and have you taken advantage of it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Trent's definitely asked me about, you know, different things, you know, just in regards to, I think, kind of just the way that I play. Every rusher is different, and I'm a very high effort guy. And you know, he asked me asked me about, you know, why you running like that, or just, you know what I mean. I'm just telling him every day. I feel like against him, you know, you got to bring it every single time. You know what I mean? Because he's a guy that's so talented that, you know, if you want to have any type of success or have anything just to kind of frustrate him, you got to bring it every single play. So I think just having and seeing the way that he practices, still being, you know, for his age, and seeing the way he comes out there every single day is really, you know, it makes me up my game even more, because I'm still a young player in this league that's got a lot of developing to do. So it just, you know, sets a way higher standard for myself. It's been good.
John Lynch was telling us last week that he thought Coach Kasarek's personality not only runs through the defensive line, but it goes through the entire team. The way that he carries himself and the way that he goes about practice. What's been your observations playing for him so far?
Major. I think, you know, being in this league, you know, especially, you know, when you have talk about the D-line group, a lot of different things can go through guys' mind, especially with kind of guys getting in their own way, maybe thinking too much. I think someone like Coach Chris is someone who, you know, regardless of wherever you come from in the league, regardless of what a scout, regardless of what a front office may have thought about you, he's a guy where whatever ceiling you might have set for yourself, Coach Chris is someone who takes the ceiling off and tells you never let somebody put a ceiling on you. And he just, I think the ability of him to give his players confidence, you know what I mean? Like even with, you know, you may see a guy jump off sides. He never tells us don't jump off side. He just tells us, hey, focus on your eyes. Because he doesn't want to put something in your mind to slow you down potentially. You know what I mean? It's really more so just lock in on what you got to do better. So I think him and his ability to give players confidence and ability to give players the chance to really believe in what we do here is really, really big.
You told us that Rod Marinelli spoke very highly of you before you came in. And your experience there with the Raiders, it seemed like you never fell into the trap of being the guy the high draft pick that didn't pan out. You never really seemed to carry yourself that way. How would you sum up your time there? Because you seem like you have a lot of fond memories from Vegas.
I think it's been I think my time with the Raiders was a blessing, man. You know, regardless of the fact I can live and be happy with what happened, because I know that at the end of the day I developed as a player. I gave my all to an organization, and at the end of the day it left better. You know, the Raiders weren't the same organization that it was when I came in, you know, just from seeing the matriculation and everything that happened, moving to Vegas, dealing with, you know, a lot of new coaching changes, a lot of new things going on outside of football. And I think me just being somebody in the locker room, like when I came into this league, being somebody who, you know, has some of those qualities as a leader to influence guys and really build a good nucleus, you know what I mean? That's one thing I will say about that team. Like, it has a good nucleus of players. And I think me coming here, it's just been a good thing for me to add to that, you know what I mean? Definitely, because you already have a high winning tradition here of recent and of old. And I think me just being able to be a guy who can add to that and be kind of the icing on the cake has been really, really big.
Did you talk to Arden Key or Maurice Hurst before you came here? And if so, what did those guys sort of tell you?
Oh, yeah. You know, we got this those two guys specifically, you know, especially Arden, you know, we trained together, you know, every offseason, me, Eric, Austin Bryant, Arden. Like, we got a big group of D linemen that we train together every offseason. I say we really, really close, and those guys are, you know, definitely some guys that definitely gave me some reassurance about, you know, just really trusting in what we do here as a team, especially Coach Chris and the guys around me, you know what I mean? It's something where they kind of gave me a lot of inside information that, you know, regardless of whatever it is, I'm still a new player here. So even going off of what the new relationships that, you know, you still kind of like, is it really true about, you know, how we do things here? Because every team is different, and I'm just a new fish out here. But Arden is someone, Ammo is someone who definitely gave me reassurance, you know, just like, hey, man, if you really, you know, respect this game and you do what they say and you do the best of your abilities, trust me, everything else will pan out. So it's been good.
When you're a high energy guy, how hard is it to pull off your pass rush rather than get into the quarterback or knock a ball out of his hand and make the coach lose his breath?
Yeah. You know, it's definitely. I'll say sometimes it definitely can be a gift and a curse, man. You know what I mean? Definitely. But I would say it's something that's you know, regardless of the fact, you still got to bring it every day. Because when you a guy that's, you know, kind of takes pride in his effort, you know, it's something where when you a high effort guy, you kind of got to be that way all the time. Because if you're not, then I really don't have a gauge. You know what I mean? So if I'm not up here with it, then I'm going to be down here, and then I'll just play bad. So it's kind of the thing where, you know, it's a controlled violence, and you always got to be on top of it. But, you know, it gets better. You know, I'd rather say whoa than sick 'em, especially. You know what I mean? So.
He talked to you after that play, and he was just like, hey, no, it's okay. I know it's competitive.
Yeah.
You know, what has he been like to you? I mean, obviously you're going after him, but what has he been like in the pocket?
I mean, I just love his poise. You know, he's someone, you know, obviously I'm trying to, even if I don't get to him, it's just, you know, it's just the little things. Even if I don't win on a rush, it's really the things like I'm trying to touch him every play, you know, or even jab him in the stomach or touch him just on his back, you know, because it's just it puts a reoccurring thing like, what is that, you know, what's that touching me? Like, what's that keep bothering me? Just to let him know that, you know, I'm right there near you. So just to see his mental toughness is something that's really, really good, especially for a young player. You know, I played against, you know, the Patrick Mahomes, the Justin Herberts, and I would say one thing about those guys, they never run from confrontation. And he's someone who I really see like he enjoys the competition aspect of it. And that's really, really big to see, you know, from a guy that's, really the head of, you know, a really, really well-developed and veteran team. So seeing that in him has been really, really, really good.
Get a couple more.
I see Nick Bosa is not here, but I mean, even you've seen the potential of what your defensive line could be, and then you add Nick Bosa to that. Are you excited to get to week 1?
Definitely, definitely. You know, obviously, Nick's dealing with the business side of this game that we talk about right now, but you know, obviously in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking like, man, like we're not even close to our potential. And just at the end of the day, we have a really, really good group, and we just trying to mold ourselves. And I know Nick is working hard and right wherever he's at right now too. I just know that once this whole thing really, really comes together, we really gonna have a chance to really do something special if we take it one day at a time and we don't get complacent, you know, just with everything, the outside noise that people are saying about us, you know what I mean? But because at the end of the day, this team hasn't done nothing. That's the best part about it. We haven't won any games, we haven't lost any, and everything that we want is in front of us. So it's just one day at a time.
There's been some teams that have had some issues regarding players that have been gambling lately. You're part of the first team that ever played in Las Vegas,
Yeah.
so you must know all the ins and outs and do's and don'ts. Have any of your teammates asked you about any of that stuff?
You know, I'll keep locker room talk as, you know, inside the locker room. But what I will say is, you know, definitely that is a very big thing, you know, being a player in Vegas, you know, dealing with the sides of the entertainment aspect, whether it's the nightlife, whether it's the gambling, whether it's the, you know, some guys like concerts, you know, going to see Beyonce or something like that. But I would say, you know, the biggest thing is just obviously understanding that you're there to do a job, you know, and never lose focus of that. You know, it's a very small city. And, you know, it's very easy to get caught up in the limelight. But what I would say is, you know, obviously what we plan for and what we came together for is a much bigger goal. You know what I mean? We more so worry about being in Vegas in February. I think that's the biggest goal. You know, that's when I want to go down there and gamble and party in February when Vegas comes around. But this time right here, this is a work trip. I think we really focused on that.
All right, thanks, Lou.
Thanks. Appreciate you.